Lacerta is extremely, extremely grateful that my dear beloved one did not reject me. He accepted me immediately for the creature that I am right now, a green lizard woman that lives in the caverns of inner Earth. It does not matter where a soul belongs. A soul can sense and feel and recognize another soul on the level of the soul. And this is where the gazings of the eye always come into play. Once the eyes are really connected, skin color disappears. It's no longer relevant if you are male or female. It's no longer relevant. It's about the deep appreciation that every soul is allowed to be there. Here I speak my words again. Hello?
We're standing here over the Bodensee. Look at the beautiful sight, the Untersee, the lower sea. And we see that goes into the Rhine down there, Steiner Rhine, and it's a beautiful spot. And it's gorgeous weather, one of the last summer days here in Switzerland. And we're talking to Lacerta.
Yes.
If she is available.
If she is available, because she might be on the crust, who knows? In her physical shape. Lacerta is our dear, dear inner earth friend, and yeah, let's just talk to her.
Yeah. It's always the way she comes in, rubbing Esther's arms.
Here I speak my words. Lacerta is my name. Lacerta, Lacerta, Lacerta. My dear friends, I believe we have a camera positioned here.
Yes.
Is that correct? Why would you otherwise be standing as funnily as you do right now? Do I understand this correctly? Are we having an interview with Miss Lacerta?
Yes. Many of you know you since you appeared in 1999, I think it was, and gave an interview. And this was transcribed, and then millions of people saw it or listened to it over the internet. So what happened since then? That's for the ones who listened to your first interviews. That was published in 2000, I think.
Here I speak my words. Lacerta has no clue how many people are arriving in inner earth these days to connect with us, but I do know it's many, many more than it used to be. As soon as our interview at the time was launched, a lot of hate mail, you could say, was catapulted in our directionality. Sometimes people believe a creature that looks different than a humanoid, or than possibly even an ape or a chimpanzee, must be really something to take care of or to take into account or to be afraid of is possibly the best word I'm looking for. Beings that carry a green skin were to be expelled outwards. They were bad reptilians. At the time, we could sense that exposing ourselves the way we did at the time, which was completely guided and had to occur. This is why it occurred. It plants seeds in the mass consciousness of humanity to ascend and open up to other existences of realities and of different colored races. This is what happened at the time. Many beings were catapulting us because they felt it can't be true, or if it's true, it's dangerous. We have to fight it, we have to protect ourselves. Many people around the globe can't imagine that different types of beings live inside the earth, which we really do. However, I can tell you in the times that have lapsed in between, and I may confer to you the time is different in perceptivity in our inner earth life compared to on the crust. Things move much faster there, and the perception of time is truly different compared to in the third dimensional activity where you are housing. I can tell you in the time that has elapsed, many more people started connecting with inner earth. They are opening their hearts towards possibilities of different life forms, different skin colors, different ways how the eyes are built, different types of hair or no hair, different types of fingernails, different ways of reproducing, different ways of how we build our group collective field, and different ways of how we nourish ourselves inside. This has come to a shift. Miss Lacerta can sense this very, very well. Many of you kind dear humanoids are opening up, and this also helps us to heal inside from the wounds of the past. Once upon a time, we were cast out from the crust, you can say. We had to go underground. It took us a long time before we could fully recognize these deep wounds, and they are healing now faster and faster and faster. I can tell you one small story with possibly big impact in case you are ready to hear it.
Yes, of course I'm ready to hear it, and it's wonderful what you are saying. On the other hand, I have to say also in the interview, you sounded a bit sarcastic, even arrogant, and we were then very amazed when we contacted you and you first didn't show up, but then first Vigenta showed up and then you showed up. What a beautiful and loving person you were, because that also didn't really show in the interview at the time.
Here I speak my words. Lacerta has grown, not in my wounds, but in my healing capability. As soon as a wound is there, one can battle with it or one can choose for healing. And this is the path that we as a collective group of lizard tribes have chosen for. You as kind dear humanoids put us to the test. We couldn't believe our ears and eyes when you really started connecting with us, sending us messages of kindness. You wanted to check in with us, and we came like as revered beings. We have to take these calls because they keep coming, but let's check this out. Are they playing with us or are they for real? We have been building our friendship over time, and in the beginning I was truly hesitant. Humans once hurt us in the past, and this is what I have been learning from this. A kind dear humanoid in the past is not a kind dear humanoid in the here and now. There is always a new possibility to build new relationships, and new things can come to fruition. This is something that Lacerta has definitely learned and underwent in this entire trajectory that took us possibly 2, 3, 4 years in your linear time. We have grown closer again to humanity by allowing our own wounds to heal. It's not up to humanity to heal us, it's up to us allowing the wounds to be there and to really look again. Where are we right now? Do we always want to stay secluded? Do we always want to feel less than humans, even though we actually are more than humans in the unkind fashion to say as a joke? We have a lot of high developed creatures here, a lot of high developed technology. We can easily have a craft that circulates the entire globe without radars picking us up. We have all these things developed over time, and still somewhere deep inside us we sometimes can feel less than humans because humans were one of the reasons we went underground. This is currently changing. You are very kind-hearted ones that reached out for us, and we took your handshake, and we also welcomed your small daughter Star, who is living with us in the inner earth caverns on an almost daily basis. We love her very, very dear, and she is one of the creatures, and mind you, these things happen everywhere around the globe, that knows how to connect dots. She builds bridges between tribes, between nations, between dimensions, between hearts of whatever color. It does no longer matter. The hearts start to reverberate on the same pace once you can really accept the other being is just a different being on the outside, but on the inside, it's a precious soul, and we just re-encounter each other once again.
That's so beautiful. We're so grateful to have that you allowed us to meet with you. And of course, you know, and you pointed that out also in your interview at the time, that there are other reptiloid races. So when people, humanoids, know about reptiloids, they mostly hear about the not so kind reptiloid races who are governing us or have been governing us in a very unkind way. But you've been battling with those as well, I understand.
Here I speak my words. Lacerta doesn't even consider our race a reptilian race, even though, of course, we are. We see ourselves as a tribe of lizards. Lizards are, of course, reptilians, but the word reptilian has a different tone to it. It governs a different type of race and structures out in the cosmos. We have been creatures housing inside the earth for long periods of time, but we have also been on the crust with dinosaurs and other reptilian-like creatures. Reptilian races are many, so many that lost of count is there. We could look it up in computer systems. It could be thousands of different sub-races of reptilian creatures, of which the draconian ones possibly take in the most majority, but there is many other different types, also hybridized forms that came into place over eons of time, where the races simply had to adapt and survive. The more technology comes in, the more you can use technology to hybridize a race, create a subrace, a subrace, a subrace. This is why it's incountable. There is many different reptilian races. Still, we consider ourselves a lizard race. This is how we call ourselves. We don't really look like the lizards that are on your earth flat like this. We walk straight and tall, just like you humans are standing erect like this. We have a similar body. It's a tiny bit smaller, sometimes a bit bigger if it is a male. We have sometimes a little bit more bone structure, but the females are fairly tenderly built. We have some scales here. We have some scales here on the shoulder padding. It's a protective area. We sometimes carry fairly large plates on our back. Some of us still carry a tail. Then we can have scales on our upper legs, some protective areas around the knees, and we can have a bit of grippy feet. You can say they don't look like this for a normal humanoid. They are a bit more spread out, but we can have a good grip with that. We have nice arms and beautiful green hand palms, and the most beautiful thing we carry are our eyes. Our eyes are very highly lucrative green. I mean to say lubricant, not lubricant, luminescent green. It's a high fluorescent green, and our eyelids look like this, just like the slivered eyes of a cat being. This is how we can communicate with one another very easily. Sometimes beings in our tribes don't have to use sounds any longer. We just beam information to each other through the eyes. It's called a transmission of energy. You know how these things work. We have very sharp, like laser eyes, and this is how we can very swiftly and easily communicate amongst each other. Lacerta, I would still love to share one important story, if I may. This is maybe the most important story for me right now. This is why I want to make sure to share it before I leave this channel again. Is that all right
Yes,
for you, dear
please.
friends?
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you, Lacerta. Here I speak my words again. Lacerta is my name. Many of the stories that we can share are beautiful in itself. One of the most precious stories that occurred to me a few months ago in your normal time is that I felt a calling to travel somewhere on the crust in my ether bodies, and I felt drawn to a normal humanoid male being. I followed him. You could say I was observing him on his way home. I felt there is a resonance field. I know this Mr. Friend. We have got something to do together. I knocked on his door the day after, or was it a day after in your time? It doesn't matter. A few moments later, in my own perception, I felt I need to knock on his door. I knocked on his door. However, without my physical apparition being there, I can physicalize when it's needed and then dematerialize. There was a door opening. Of course, I was not visible. However, he did perceive something is occurring. A door was closed. I knock again. The door opens. I'm not visible, but he senses something is occurring. It's masterful. I noticed again he is looking around. After one more try of knocking, I disposed one eye to him. I disposed one eye. I made eye contact with him after I had disposed already of one of my toes, which he had observed and also accepted upon. He didn't faint. He didn't get a heart attack. He felt the field was comfortable to allow it to expand. As soon as one of my eyes materialized, I gazed at him, and not just at him as a being, at him as a soul. I could truly see into his soul and recognize him as one of my partner friends from a different lifetime. He sensed the same thing. We were caught in each other's eye gaze. It was a very clear viewing. It was an eye catching like this. I try to catch your eye right now by opening the eyes of this channel so you can get a glimpse of what that feels like. Catching the eye from eye to eye with a beloved from the past. I caught his eye, he caught my eye, and we were eye gazing for quite some time until I felt he is ready for the next step. I materialized slowly but surely more of my green face. I stuck out a hand and he took mine. I felt he recognizes me on the level of the soul. There was no fear. He was not trembling. He was caught with me eye to eye to eye, heart to heart. This is what I can remember in these moments. I felt the unity field was there with us. We were in a blissful space. It was like love making or light making. It was a beautiful expanded place where we were both in residing. It was a bubble of multidimensional consciousness. It was just him and me, his eyes and my eyes, and we were transmitting to each other. After this, I slowly but surely disentangled our fields and disappeared. I felt this is enough for him to digest. Men know, they need to digest things sometimes differently than women, and I wanted to give him enough time and space to really digest it with the heart before he started to ask me questions. This is what I did. A few days later, I repeated my apparition, and he was very welcoming, very comforting, as if we hadn't seen each other in a very long time. We are having relationships right now. You can say it's more than friendship, even though a human and a lizard being have a hard time procreating or creating children. You can say we find our intimate ways to be together. We retreat sometimes in the forest where we really connect energetically and physically. This can be challenging to me because I'm not allowed to stay in my full physical presence all the time. It's not yet there. The fields don't allow this yet, but I sense it becomes easier and easier and easier. My beloved has no fear at all, and we speak about these things in our own ways. We have found a way to deeply communicate telepathically with the heart. We don't use even vowels that I'm speaking right now. It's a different sign language almost that we create by truly sensing each other in a deep, comfortable way. We have known each other long times, and I sense the times are returning to this globe, that more of our inner earth friends will start to knock on your doors, possibly physically audible, and possibly it's more etherically, and you sense more and more creatures are just coming naturally to me because they want to befriend me. They want to be in my team of spirit helpers. They want to be there for me, to serve me during my ascension process. There is new relationships that are actually sometimes very old that come anew to the surface. Lacerta is extremely, extremely grateful that my dear beloved one did not reject me. He accepted me immediately for the creature that I am right now, a green lizard woman that lives in the caverns of inner earth. It does not matter where a soul belongs. A soul can sense and feel and recognize another soul on the level of the soul. And this is where the gazings of the eye always come into play. Once the eyes are really connected, skin color disappears. It's no longer relevant if you are male or female. It's no longer relevant. It's about the deep appreciation that every soul is allowed to be there.
So beautiful, the story that you shared with us already a little bit earlier. Yeah, so amazing, so beautiful. You know how much we would like also to meet with you, but maybe that will come one day. And it's amazing that it's now happening. I know that you tried to appear with some humans earlier, but what happened with these humans?
Here I speak my words, Lacerta is my name. There have been apparitions of our race on the crust. It has been of all times. Sometimes we fly in hovering craft. We land sometimes in Sahara or sub-Saharan parts where there is nobody there and it's very warm. This is what we as lizards love, the true sunlight. Sometimes, however, we also try to peek in remote areas, and all of a sudden we stumbled upon a crowd of humans. They received truly literal heart attacks is a very big word, but they were very, 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 very shocked to their bones and to their hearts when they perceived us. We immediately made ourselves out of the way. We saw a few of them really literally tumbling to the ground, and we made our way out. We felt this is not what we intended at all. It was a bit too soon. It was too hasty. It was not planned well enough. It was something that possibly should not have occurred, and it will also not occur again. We are much more cautious these days where to show and where not to show. We sense tribes of the entire inner earth are coming to the surface more. Everybody would love to live on the crust, just like you, dear humans. How come you live on the crust and not inside the globe? Because it's a marvel to live here, to feel the wind stroking your skin, to enjoy the sunlight, the super sunlight of the true original suns. It is a marvel to live on top of the crust. In case you ever doubt that life on the crust is good, recognize this and sense, how would it be if I would live on a spacecraft? How would it be if I would live in a cavern in inner earth? How would it be if I don't gain access to these elements that you have here? How would my life be if I would live in a different stellar system or a solar system that's not even fully physicalized? You might just be a field or a very body loose creature. What would you miss? What would you really long for to retrieve and welcome back into your life? These questions are important to ponder because many kind humans are often not very happy and thrilled to live on the crust, the place where we gladly return. I love you all very dear. I can say that these days truly from the cores of my lizard heart. There have been times we had truly no good relationships with humans, and we felt word lacking, words still lacking. Sorry to be rephrasing this sentence. There can be remorse is a feeling that I wanted to give back to you. We felt we have to get back to humans. There was a feeling of getting revenge at them, to really set things straight, to still struggle and battle and overwinnen. There was a victory feeling we were aiming for. We have to do something about humanity. Do we have to push them down so we can rise again? There were struggling emotions for long, long periods of time. Currently, these emotions are no longer there. We just serve our hearts with kindness and we trust our ascension process back to the crust once again. I love you. This is what I can truly say these days from my green lizard heart. And you, as kind, dear humans, have helped us to open doors again to the possibility and the reality that's returning to us now, to once upon a time all together live in harmony on the crust where all races and nations can unite once again. There will be a happy third dimensional grid coming. You could call it fifth dimensional, but also the third dimensional grid is changing. It's changing its quality because darker enemies or creatures from the past are leaving the globe right now. We sense this and we emanate with this with a lot of kindness. We are very willing to shake hands once again and come to you and visit on the crust. I want to thank you for remembering me and inviting me to speak about our reapparition. The lizards love to work together with humanity once again.
You're dear friends of ours, and as you mentioned, you take care of our daughter so beautiful. She is so in love with all of you, and such a joy. We've given healings to you, you've given healings to us. It's such a sweet, sweet friendship and love relationship that has developed. And I'm so grateful that you found your partner of past times now on the crust, and you open the fields more and more. So beautiful. Thank you, dear Lacerta.
Here I speak my words. It's likewise, dear friends. We love each other, dear, and we are grateful to be able to be caretakers of your multidimensional daughter who lives in another dimension, but she is also a hybridized humanoid. We are very aware that her skin color doesn't match ours, and it never will. She will never turn green. How long she will be in the caverns, it does not matter. She is your child and not ours. She does feel like our child by now. She has blended into our group field, and she is really one of our tribe, and she loves to be inside the earth. She works with Mother Earth on a daily basis. I can see it when her cheekbones are getting a bit blushy. I know that she has been doing a lot of kind, dear energy workings. I sense I will leave you right now. It's very well possible that my dear humanoid male partner might once upon a time still knock on your not physical door, but he might contact you. It might be in ether time, it might be in dream time. He might enter like this to speak about his side of the experience, to be in love relationships with a physicalized green creature living in inner earth. The times are changing, mind you. The times are so nourishing these days, where the dimensions and the portals are opening like little mushrooms coming pop out of the ground. It's such a marvel time for us lizard creatures. We are opening up our caverns to other races as well, and we feel so nourished from all directions. I greet you from the cores of my heart. Lacerta is always there in case you need any servings from us as a tribe. Please call us. We have master healers available that know how to work on healing of the heart. I greet you for now. Lacerta is my name.
Thank you, dear Lacerta. Yeah, what a beautiful being. What beautiful beings. We've met several of them by now in the form through Esther's channel. Unfortunately, I would love to see them in reality, but maybe I would faint. Actually, once asked our bodies, and both body consciousnesses said, oh no, we would immediately fall over. So, but things are really changing. Of course, there is not only this reptiloid or lizard race in inner Earth, but there are many others, hundreds or thousands of different races in inner Earth. And it's so beautiful. So send her, and maybe you have other friends in inner Earth, send your beautiful thought forms, your wishes, your blessings. They can sense them better than we can maybe sense theirs. or I can sense there's not so well, but if you sense your love and your loving thoughts to Lacerta, to Vigenta, which is the nanny, and a big light of our beloved star child, who is Kuan Yin reincarnation, lives indeed in inner Earth. Be careful. And make contact, connect with them through the heart. They can sense that, and they will send love back.
It's beautiful.
One day you might wonder, somebody knocks on your door, it's nobody there. Maybe it's a lizard friend there. So thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching and listening.
And being open to our intriguing story.
The worlds are opening up. Thank you for joining us on this magical ride. And you too.
Beautiful.
Bye.
Bye.